Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Jesus, that's pretty slack. Come on now. It wasn't that late at night. Good morning? Okay. That sounds like about 5 people.
I think they need to pick it up a little.
I think so. Londi, what do you say?
I say more energy. Good morning, everybody. How are you feeling this morning? It doesn't sound like you guys are good, though.
Yo, I tell you what, I think more coffee's needed, I reckon,
Yeah,
Londi.
I agree.
So, everybody, thank you for coming again, and welcome to the second day of this inaugural audio description Africa Symposium. You've no idea how special that was yesterday. Those of you who were there understand how powerful it was. Those of you who were there at the gala dinner really get it. And those of you who are attending for the first time today, you're in for a treat. My partner in crime here is Londiwe Shange, or Londi to our friends. Londi, say something. Introduce yourself.
Well, Jeremy, I am Londi Shange, a lot of names. I am an actress, producer, writer, director. I'm also an activist for performers in South Africa through the South African Guild of Actors, and I'm a huge ally for people with disabilities within the sector.
Brilliant, man, brilliant. And as you know, yesterday, yeah. And as you know, yesterday I introduced myself. I'm George Clooney. No, but listen, who says I don't look like George Clooney? I can't see in the mirror.
I think if you had to go to an audition, you could pass.
Oh, you reckon? I'd get it?
Maybe.
Excellent. All right, so listen, my job, the first thing I want to do today is we need to talk a little bit about yesterday. For those of you who weren't there and those of you who were, just to wake you up and catch up about what a stunning day it was. I must tell you, it has been an interesting time preparing for this symposium. I'm very pleased I was 1,000 miles away in Cape Town at times, because arranging a conference like this is no small feat. And Shakila's team is not big. They have no concept of time, and they have every day is a 28-hour day at least. And the extraordinary amount of work that had to be put together to make this happen was miraculous. And yesterday, as we saw, there were over 100 people in this room, and the energy was stunning. And there was a great sigh of relief from the general ShazaCin community as it worked. So I want you to start off with the most amazing round of applause for ShazaCin, Shakila, and the team. So how the day began was with a great friend of ShazaCin's, Shakila's, and I'm proud to say myself, who has come out from America for the second time to South Africa, Dr. Joel Snyder, who delivered the keynote address. It was terrific. It had absolutely everything. It had humor, it had extraordinary learning and information. And so that was how we kicked off yesterday, which was terrific. We then went straight into the first panel. There were no messing about here. Old Joel ran the first panel, moderated the first panel, which was on film and audio description. And he had both online and local people attending, followed by a second panel, which I moderated, which was on tourism and culture. And I was sitting all alone up here in my little chair because all my panelists were online from India and Japan and even South Africa. And then followed by a lunch. And then we had the most extraordinary thing. And I must tell you, I will remember this to the day I die, was a live performance by Padne Arts, created by Sid Pillay, and a dance between two dancers. But what made it so special was that it was audio described live by our wonderful Deborah Ewing, and Sid, I think, I'm not sure who did the second So there were two of them audio describing live, though. And I don't see, as you can probably work out, and I got an absolute clear image of the dancers in the most extraordinary presentation. It was called A New African Dawn. And I've got to tell you, I will think about Lioness for a long time, actually. There was something about Lioness that really got me, and the way it was described. And there I go again. I often do this, by the way. Thank you for that. I've been known to actually address a room for 15 minutes like this before somebody decided to turn me around. So please go for it. Turn me anytime you like. So...
Will do. Yes, of course.
So that performance was essentially the opening ceremony, and it did not disappoint. Then we had our third panel, which was Deborah Ewing herself, not without technical gremlins, sadly, but no less stimulating and fascinating with her panelists, particularly Joel, who was sitting here. But in addition, we had the most illustrious community from overseas talking about, and this is what made it so interesting, was live and the performance arts and live audio descriptions, or real-time audio description, which Deborah, I suspect, is going to master without any effort at all, as she proved later in the gala dinner. And then the last panel was once again a lone moderator sitting in his chair all alone, is the well-known tech boffin Dina Moodley, who we all know, and doing a very interesting panel on technology, essentially, STEM, publication, and education. In the context of audio description, once again, his panelists were drawn from overseas, India, particularly America, and it was amazing. And then, to close off, we had a quick break of an hour, and then the gala dinner. And what a show. We were treated to Adrian Mole, Darren Mole, I beg your pardon. Adrian Mole is another mole, but it's another one. He's also a comedian. The Darren Mole, I beg your pardon, who was extraordinary as MC, broke all the rules, forgot all the protocols, and it was brilliant that way. And then we were treated to Patrick, is it Patrick Kenny or Kenna? I can never remember. Kenny, who was terrific in both a solo gig as well as bringing in youngsters, aspiring comedians. And once again, Deborah outdid herself by doing a real-time audio description. So if you're tired after what I've just recited, you've got to know how we felt at 10:30 last night when the party ended. So what a day. What a day. And I'd like another round of applause for just the day, because it was so cool. All right, Londi, your turn.
Well, Jeremy, what I can tell you is that I missed out. I wasn't here last night and yesterday, so I am crying a little bit because I'm like, I missed out on a lot.
FOMO.
Of action. FOMO's kicking in. But I'll be here next year for everything. Now we're just going to kick off the day with a beautiful panel discussion. It is day 2, and it is time to continue with our program, ladies and gentlemen. So today we have our first panel discussion. It is going to be hosted by Mr. Barry Griffin from South Africa, and he's going to be hosting the panel on technology and AI. Barry Griffin is an architect and developer of Describe AT app. He's a technology strategist and a developer of several mobile apps. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the stage Mr. Barry Griffin.
Okay, Londi, let's go.
Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, thank you for the great introduction. I'm Barry Griffin, and I'm really excited to be here today. We are going to discuss today with what I believe, it's going to be a truly enlightening discussion. Our topic today is technology and AI, and it's not just timely, but absolutely critical at this stage as we champion growth of audio description across Africa and beyond. We have an extraordinary group of minds here today, each pioneering in their own right. And I'm thrilled to facilitate this conversation today. So, keeping with convention, I think it might be a good idea to describe myself like everyone did yesterday. So, I am a tall, muscular, blonde, model, supermodel kind of person. It's muscles everywhere and busts galore. And I did exactly that because we are talking about artificial intelligence today, and I wanted to highlight one of the biggest challenges that we have, and that is hallucinations. So I am, in fact, not a tall blonde standing here in front of you. I am a middle-aged, going bald guy. Don't want to talk about that too much. That enjoys technology, and I'm dressed in a, what is this, a maroon shirt with some light jeans today, a bit more casual. Yesterday was one of those as well. But I'm, yes, also green eyes, always smiling, so most of my creases on the face are not on my forehead. Thank you so much, guys. And let me, without further ado, introduce our panelists here. Good morning, good morning, good morning, team. Okay, so first off, we have our virtual panelists joining from the United States, and Mr. Martijn van der Spek joining from Netherlands. We've got Professor Brett Oppegaard from the USA. He is the professor at the University of Hawaii, Manoa, and he leads the unit description project. I'm going to allow each panelist later on to just describe a little bit more about themselves. That will familiarize each of us with their voices and their unique way of speaking. And then we've got Dr. Joel Snyder from the USA here as well. Dr. Joel, you're probably bored of this question already, but your introduction will be valuable later. No need for introduction. Mr. Martijn van der Spek, all the way from the Netherlands, thank you so much for joining us. And Martijn is leading recognition software. He's a founder of Sparkling Apps, a developer of Pikibot. And then we've got, to my right over here, Dr. Anitha Ramsuran. Welcome, Dr. Anitha. Senior Manager Innovation for Inclusive Development for the TIA Agency, Technology and Innovation Agency. And last but not least, Ms. Tracy Smith, which I know really well. Our ShazaCin Accessibility Specialist, and also app administrator. Tracy knows her way around the company really well. Welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, welcome. Can we give a round of applause? And then I'm going to ask our online panelists just to give a short, brief description of yourself, and keep it short. The 2-minute one will be wonderful, just to tell everyone who you are. Over to you, Mr. Martijn van der Spek. Thank you.
Hello all, good morning.
Morning.
I am Martijn van der Spek, and I am
shows part of a person.
I am the developer of Pikibot, an audio description app that describes images and videos for anyone with a visual impairment. And I started making audio description apps about 13, 14 years ago. But lately, now with AI, really having a revolution happening. The options and the possibilities are so much more, and I'm really glad to be here. And join you all. To give an idea, I could give a description that my own app, Pickybot, gave about me or about what I am, where I'm sitting. So then you get an idea. I hope it's within the 2 minutes, but let me see.
Upper body, specifically from the shoulders upward, wearing a light brown or taupe-collared shirt with a single button visible near the collar. The shirt has a soft, slightly wrinkled texture, suggesting it is made from a casual, comfortable fabric, such as cotton or a cotton blend. The background appears to be an indoor office or workspace setting. To the left, there is a section of wall painted a bright orange, broken up by small white sections, with a recessed shelf or opening visible near the middle. Above, there is a ceiling with a square ventilation grill and a recessed round light emitting a soft white glow. On the right side of the image, there is a large window or glass panel covered by vertical blinds in a light cream or off-white color. The blinds are partially closed, creating evenly spaced vertical lines across that part of the background. The lighting in the room is bright and even, contributing to a clean, professional atmosphere. Overall, the composition blends neutral tones from the shirt, white ceiling and blinds with the vibrant orange accent wall, giving a gentle contrast between warmth and calm professionalism. The person's posture and perspective suggest they are seated and may be taking a photo at arm's length, possibly in a casual but work-related setting. The environment's modern elements, such as the ceiling fixtures and neat blinds, add to the impression of a contemporary office or workplace.
Oh, so that was a bit of a longer description than I wanted.
That's really amazing, Martijn.
It gives an idea of the type of descriptions you get from my app, Pickybot. And this is an image description, obviously, but it also describes videos pretty well.
Wonderful. That was an amazing demonstration, and a lot of words that went into describing one image, if we look at that. Thank you so much for that introduction, Martijn, and amazing work that you're doing there. Professor Brett Oppegaard, I almost said doctor, welcome and thank you. Please give us a brief introduction about your passions and your work. Over to you, Brett.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Very excited to be here also. I want to thank Shakila, Dr. Snyder, the other event organizers for inviting me. It's a great honor to be with you. I really appreciate it. My name is Brett Oppegaard, and I'm a professor at the University of Hawaii. I have been studying audio description for more than a decade, primarily in public attractions like national parks. I've collaborated with more than 200 national parks in the United States, as well as national parks in Canada, the UK, and other places around the world. I'm a 54-year-old American man, white in the abstract, but with ancestral origins in the United Kingdom and Norway, indicating those roots visually. I have blue eyes, a pinkish tan skin with a red undertone, and dark brown hair. My hair is short on the sides, but kept long on top, showing some waviness to it. I do not have any facial hair beyond my eyebrows. I'm wearing a pair of headphones today, and the collar of my light blue and patterned Aloha shirt shows slightly from underneath a dark blue jacket that I'm wearing. I think we're going to have a really interesting discussion about how AI is being integrated into audio description, like Martin demonstrated there. I really appreciated that. It's going to be a rich debate, I think, about a lot of things, so I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Brett. All right, and to my right over here, Dr. Anitha Ramsuran. You can even use my mic, ma'am.
Oh, no, thank you very much. Good morning to all. Excuse my voice, I'm just recovering from a cold. I'm Anitha Ramsuran. I am from the Technology Innovation Agency. It's a South African agency responsible for facilitating the development of technologies to market. I'm an Indian female. Yesterday I heard a lot about middle age and I was trying to figure out where do I fall. Young, so I am on the 6th floor, what I would call. So slowly, early on the 6th floor, I think I just stepped on the first ladder of the 6th floor. I am a South African Indian, born in South Africa. I've got long black hair, and that is because of constant coloring. It would have been gray by now if it wasn't for the coloring. And I have, today I'm using a dress that's lots of flowers on it, pink and green. Pink's my favorite color. I've got pink shoes. I am short, 1.5 meters short. Yeah, that's about me. And I have contact lenses on and my eyes are light brown. So I think, yeah, so I think that's me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramsuran. I really appreciate that. And a round of applause for Dr. Ramsuran for being here. Thank you so much. And don't need an introduction really, but Dr. Joel, please give us an overview of your amazing work.
Thank you, Barry. Perhaps for those of you that weren't here yesterday to hear my enlightening self-description, Barry and I go to the same hairdresser, let's put it that way. Our hairlines have are not just simply receding, they are receded, as it were. I'm a white, middle-aged male, and it's an honor to be a part of this panel. Perhaps we'll have an introduction from Tracy in a moment, of course, but I thought perhaps I would kick things off a little bit with a thought or an idea inspired by Martin's demonstration of AI. You may recall yesterday I mentioned the phrase, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." But I added, I'm not sure I know any blind people who want to hear 1,000 words about a picture. You know, Oliver Wendell Holmes was the Chief Justice of the United States many, many years ago. And I use a quote from him in my training of describers. He said, "The great struggle of art is to leave out all but the essential." And I think that's part of what makes audio description, writing, and voicing a distinctly human art and activity. We need to focus, Esther Geiger said this during the dance panel yesterday, focus on essence. Not everything you see has the same weight. Not everything you see counts as much, especially when you have limited time to provide that information. So I just want to provide that little counterpoint to, it's not that AI is not helpful and useful and will have myriad applications for audio description and many parts of our lives, but a little counterpoint as far as the human perspective and how we can work with AI.
Thank you so much, Dr. Joel. Thank you for that introduction. And I agree with you 100%. We've actually seen that in play now with one picture having many words there read from Martijn's app. How do we do that in a short video clip? What do we keep, what do we lose? Thank you for that. All right, and then over to Ms. Tracy Smith from our ShazaCin team. Tracy, please introduce yourself. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tracy Smith, and I work for ShazaCin. I'm a jack of all trades and a master of some. I do a little bit of everything. I do sound editing, I do verification, I'm also administering the back admin panel of the app. And so, yes, I do a little, I'm involved wherever I can. And I'm fascinated by AI. For me, it is It's something that works for me. I don't work for it. It works for me, and so yes, I'm looking forward to the rest of the discussion. Oh yes, and I got a black skirt with. It was described to me as modern abstract prints. So I don't know what that means. And a black top. I've got my hair. I've got long hair, blondish hair with like brown hair with streaks, and it's rolled into a bun, and gold earrings and black hush puppy shoes. And then, yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tracy. A round of applause, Tracy and Dr. Joel. Thank you. Okay, and I also did not mention earlier on that you might have heard about the app developer. That's him sitting over here. Barry, that's me. And yeah, so I, as you've probably heard, I'm fluent in English, or Afro-English, let's call it that. My native tongue is Afrikaans. So please bear with me when we mix things up a little today. All right, so without further ado, our time is running quite hectically. So I would like to quickly just ask you guys your perspectives. What the most impactful current applications of AI in audio description is. Maybe we can talk a bit about that globally as well as in Africa. And perhaps Dr. Brett, you can maybe guide us on how tools like unit description, and from Martijn, how Pigibot exemplifies the potential of AI in making our visual world accessible. That's a quote that I stole from Professor Brett. Let's discuss that. So what are the most impactful current applications of AI? Anything that you guys know about? Let's enlighten our audience. Martijn?
I can start, or Martin, you want to start? Or? Okay, well, I'll begin just by the elephant in the room, that there is a great tension right now between human beings and generative AI, in the sense of not just in audio description, but in terms of like, what are people going to be doing in the coming years as Gen AI develops and they take the place of people in a lot of different situations. In audio description, I want to make clear that I am fully in favor of keeping humans in the loop and having humans a part of this process, and I think they should be a part of this process. I'm a writer by trade. I've been a journalist, a technical communicator, an academic for more than 30 years. I've earned my living my entire life by putting together words in order, just like Gen AI does. So, obviously that feels a little bit threatening for me and for other people in this kind of business. But for the past decade or so, I've been deeply researching static audio description, and so my focus, as opposed to many people in the room, like Dr. Snyder, is more focused on dynamic audio description. I'm more focused on static audio description, so I research how to describe photographs, maps, tables, charts. These are descriptions that can be longer, and they also can deal with complex social identities in terms of gender, race, ethnicity, age, fashion, describing action, so many other things that I just don't really get a sense that Gen AI is going to be able to handle anytime soon. So when I first started researching the efficacy of generative AI on audio description around 2020, I have to say I personally was quite a bit relieved that it wasn't capable of replacing writers at that time. And for the first couple of years of my studies, it was barely able to produce what I would call baby talk. It literally would describe a portrait as might be a man, might be smiling, things like that. I thought, okay, my job's totally safe, no worries. But After a couple of years of studying that, I collected my data, wrote my paper, submitted it for publication in early November 2022, and I made the assertion in that paper that Gen AI was really, not an issue for audio description, going nowhere. And then about 2 weeks later, a company called OpenAI released ChatGPT. I decided to give it a try. I quickly realized that everything was about to change in terms of AD automation. ChatGPT out of the box wasn't great at that point. It wasn't making like high quality descriptions. There's no prompt engineering, no retrieval augmented generation, et cetera, But as Martin demonstrated there, we've come a long way, and we have a lot of potential applications that can make better audio description, support human beings, and make a more accessible world at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brett, and I completely agree with you there. Martijn, could you maybe also jump in there and give us an idea, even if it is with where Pikibot is heading?
Yeah, well, I completely agree with Brett that that really the launch of ChatGPT and OpenAI coming with the first really useful model out was really a breakthrough, and it has been accelerating since. And I think that it's one of the strengths of Pikibot, that it is using at the moment 19 different models from different providers, and that actually addressing one of the issues that you mentioned, Barry, because the hallucination gets a lot better or gets a lot less when you take send, like what Pikibot is doing, send the description to 3 different models, give them let them all describe, and then take only the elements that are, that they all agree upon. So if you have those factors, then you get a description that may not be as elaborate, although the last one was very elaborate, but at least it will be correct. So it will not include these hallucinations. So that there is a lot. I mean, and another thing about the length of the description, that's all of course a matter of settings. At the moment in Pikibot I set it to maximum duration description. You can also say, give me only the really important points, and then it will do that. That is I think that there is yes, of course there is AI will not replace a proper human-driven audio description, but right now, you have people have so many private videos that they want to have described, and what are their options? Just, I had initially when I just launched it, I had some people saying, well, now suddenly your app has turned, the videos that I had on my phone, they were only taking up space. And now there were videos of his grandchildren, and he said, and suddenly they have turned into memories, and it's completely changed the whole thing. So I think, it's AI is establishing a major breakthrough, and I think we have to use it to the best of our abilities, and ignoring it and saying, no, I want to protect the human element. Yes, but only do that when it actually, when the synergy works well, then it is perfect. But don't stick to defending it at all costs, I would say. The human element, I mean, it is...
Thank you so much, Martijn. It seems the common theme we have here is to keep our humans in the loop, for now at least. So you mentioned here that you talked about video as well, so I would like to head into our second topic here about challenges and opportunities in AI-driven audio description. And for that, I have asked Mtoko to line up a video for us. Now, Unfortunately, the video is not audio described. I will do so right after the video. But I want you guys to pay your attention to the sounds, the voices, any sounds that you can hear, including ice skating, and just live yourself into that, or submerge yourself into that without the audio description. I'll describe some of it right after. It's a short 2-minute video, but let's have a look. And this video will guide us on the next topic.
Throws those balls on the sideline in the end zone. Being at 19, probably right about 60 on that play. Here goes.
1 year ago, Sora 1 redefined what was possible with moving images. Today, we're announcing the Sora app, powered by the all-new Sora 2. It's the most powerful imagination engine ever built. And it's packed with new features. I'll pass it to Bill for more details.
Now, every video comes with sound.
Okay. Unfortunately, we can't hear the sound properly.
Sora 2 is also the state-of-the-art for motion, physics IQ, and body mechanics, marking a giant leap forward in realism.
Okay, I think that is about it. Thank you. Unfortunately, we did not hear the sound very well from that video, but I'll quickly describe what happened there. It is an advertisement on YouTube for Sora 2, which was launched by ChatGPT, and what we just had a look at is a video that was completely generated by artificial intelligence, as well as the voice, sound effects. Everything we saw there was generated by artificial intelligence. So to describe to you guys what happened, it's a few random scenes which are quite ridiculous, if you ask me. An elephant walking into a banquet room, a lady skating on skates on a frozen lake with a random animal running up to her, and it was all extremely realistic. So based on that, I want us to imagine that now we have artificial intelligence here with us already that can be used today to generate high-quality video as well as the audio and sounds that go with that. So let's imagine the reverse, analyzing the video and audio and sounds to be able to describe that. So I would like to discuss a bit about the immense potential that we currently have with artificial intelligence. While it offers this huge potential, what are the significant technical and ethical or even practical challenges that we face in implementing and scaling AI-powered audio description solutions, especially keeping in mind our diverse linguistic and cultural environments like in Africa? Let's maybe discuss a bit about data bias or quality control and the human touch that we just discussed. Dr. Joel, would you like to hit us off with that topic?
Sure. With a couple of thoughts, maybe not directly relevant to what you just said, but Martijn mentioned, and appropriately enough, all those videos that we all have on our smartphones, and are they ever going to get described and be made accessible to a blind person and their own smartphone, or to other people? They're not all going to get professionally described. None of them are going to get professionally described, perhaps. How many billions of videos are on YouTube? Are they all going to get professionally described, made accessible by professionals? Of course not. I think AI has tremendous potential in that arena, particularly as far as the creation of description, the language, and the voicing of the description. But again, to give a counterpoint, and in the spirit of nothing about us without us, Satana Howry is a good friend, a blind voice talent in the United States. She's the voice of all the description for the Seinfeld series and that sort of thing. She does a great amount of description. And she was once confronted by someone who said, you know, isn't this going to be wonderful? The AI is going to be able to produce description for so many more videos and do it this way and do it that way, and you'll have different variations. Isn't that so wonderful? Don't you agree? And Satana responded, well, yeah, I think it's wonderful, but I think it's wonderful in the same way that I have a backup generator at home for all the electricity that I get from the electric company. You know, I'm really grateful for that generator when the power goes out, but I don't want to live off the generator. I want to have the real thing, the real powerful electricity from the electricity company. I think that's an important point. It's you know, and even with, I take your point, Martin, about still images, static images versus dynamic images. You know, the thing about essence in description is not just about time. Sure, with video, with performing arts, oh, I got 3 seconds because I don't want to step on the lines or something. But, you know, I've done dozens of audio-described tours of museums. And sure, these are mostly static images. But once again, when I do an audio-described tour, I assume an hour visit. Maybe there's 10, 15 displays. Do the math. That gets you down to about 5 minutes per. You got to do an opening, an introduction. You got to read text. You end up with a precious 1 or 2 minutes to describe. And I think there too, not only time, but getting to the essence provides better description, because it's like art. It's picking and choosing and deciding what to emphasize. So I guess I'm more focused on the quality of description as opposed to the quantity of description, because I think we have a danger of lapsing into what is bad description. And honestly, I sometimes believe that no description is better than bad audio description. I've seen people in theaters listening to description pull the earbud out of their ear and put it away because the description was filled with what I call oral clutter. It's too much. They're trying to do too much. I can't. It's taking my focus away from the work of art that I'm supposed to appreciate. I'd just as soon do without it. And when more people feel that way, audio description is not going to grow.
Thank you, Dr. Joel. You mentioned there a few important things, which I think leads us into our next topic about the quality and the user-centric audio description. So the important thing that I heard there, even yesterday during discussions, it was Ross Chalmers who mentioned emotion in the performing arts, being able to describe the emotions in those scenes. So I'd like to ask Ms. Tracy Smith, being, leading ShazaCin's accessibility and being a specialist in our accessibility in the team, just to get your opinion, Tracy, on how we can ensure the high quality and user-centric audio description does emotions even play a role in ensuring that?
Yes, my opinion about it is that emotion definitely plays a role, but also so emotions can only be understood by proper humans. So my perspective is that AI has its place if it can make your life easier, if it can make the process a bit faster. But at the end of the day, it has to be checked by a human being afterwards. And also the other thing about AI is that it can be prompted, and too many people use AI as a glorified Google, that they just want to get facts from it and not check. The facts that AI get might not always be correct, but if you, for me it's very important to probe. The same way that if I'm working with someone on audio description, to ask the questions, to say, tell me more about that and that and that. And that is when AI starts to work for you. But at the end of the day, you need the human, number one, to prompt properly. And even with, like, I use PickyBot a lot, and I will prompt it. I will say, I want concise, or I want vivid, or I will tell it what I want, how I want it to and for me as a blind person, when like Be My Eyes and PickyBot came out and you could have photos described, it was like, it was a big high, because I remember when my dad passed away, everybody was looking at the photos, and I said, I've got nothing to look at. But yes, so there needs to be human quality control.
Thank you so much for that, Tracy. And yes, I think that enhances exactly what Martijn and Brett also said earlier about the human in the loop. We can't get rid of that now, or shouldn't. So agreed with you there. Thank you so much that we should rather use it to enhance our current workflows and our roles. Thanks for that. And now I wanted to talk a bit about, I think we touched on it, but the cultural side of things is, cultural sensitivity is something that we really, in Africa especially, need to consider when we describe any and everything. So what kind of policies and rules do we know about yet that's out there with regards to keeping the cultural sense of things in there, with artistry and nuances based on a culture? Do we have something that exists, or is that something that we really need to focus on for future? Dr. Ramsuran?
Okay, I was actually hoping I wouldn't be asked that question.
No.
That's not my forte.
Anyone can
but
answer.
could I just make a point around the earlier discussion before we go on to that? Mm-hmm. So I think we're missing a point around AI, in the sense that there is a human that develops the codes, mm-hmm. right? And it's all about how the human develops the code. So in our entity, we focus on the technology developers, right? The people that develop the app, the people that develop the tools, right? So you'll get what you put in, is it not? Right, you will get what you put in. If you want something different, you've got to put in something different. And that's a key element. And that's an important part for us, because in South Africa, I think a lot of the population, because of poverty, etc., these tools have not become accessible to a large number of blind users. So one of the things that the AI is making available, or audio description is making available, is accessibility. It's making available affordability, and it's availability as well. Because these things, previously people were excluded from these things. So it's very important for us, we focus on both ends. We focus on the development side, as well as on the user side. Lots of discussion has been on the user. I use AI as well in my own work. Because of the US, I don't use ChatGPT. I go on the brick side and I use DeepSeek. It does give me better results. But I think always, as Tracy said, it must be You got to evaluate it, you got to synthesize it from your own perspective to see what it's giving you. And that is basically, I think, in all. But coming back to your question around the cultural. So there is acts around languages, the use of language, etc. And I think in audio description, and we've seen it a lot, I've seen it in Bollywood movies, which I enjoy, that it's now in Zulu as well. Right, so it's audio described in Zulu, which is an interesting for the South African population, a diverse population. So there is a lot of things around language. We have a Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, which regulates artistic work, artistry, etc. So there is definitely regulations around that. But what we don't have is ethics around AI in connection to these policies. And I think even on the technology side as well, the ethical dimension. In fact, quite incidentally, yesterday our internal communication set out an AI ethics policy for our own organization. Right, so I think...
Sorry, I think that needs a clap, guys, because that doesn't happen often.
Right, so I think from a government perspective, I think these things need to be released in ethics, and ethics in terms of different. Science and technology, of course, will have different ethics conventions, I think, that you'd want to keep. The creative arts would have different. But I think what we're seeing here is, a coming together of technology and creativity in the arts. And how do we, in technological advancements, obviously not all technologies are good technologies. I mean, technologies do harm, like a lot of experimentation that's going on in the US. I'm going to use the US as my God. So, I mean, people are putting spokes into brains and enabling you to read your thoughts, etc. Your thoughts are not your own anymore. So there's a lot of those technologies that need these ethical considerations, and same with the audio description, in my view. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ramsuran. Thanks. And you mentioned on the next topic we actually wanted to discuss, but you touched on that, and that's about the innovation you mentioned. And but I also want to explore a bit more the policies around this. Thank you for touching on that. But what about the investment around this? Because I just, from TIA's perspective, the Technology Innovation Agency's perspective, what are the critical factors, for, you spoke about innovation, but also securing investment in AI-driven accessibility solutions? Or is there certain factors around, how would you, your company, TIA Innovation, leverage these tech advancements to advocate for stronger policy and ensure that we're the investment opportunities that you guys allow for go to the right audience, if that makes sense.
Yes, so TIA actually is a national entity funding across a range of sectors. But recently, and that is like 2 or 3 years ago, we've just identified that one of the sectors we haven't been looking at closely is the disability sector. And not only visual impairment, we're looking at all forms of impairment. We have a disability act, but the problem with the Disability Act is it hasn't been fully implemented. Right, so therefore, you don't find translations of the act into action. Now, on our side, we found that the technology and innovation side on the disability, for the disability sector, has been most scarce. In other words, technology has been saving lives, especially for some of the assisted devices, etc. But there hasn't been a lot of focus on that in there. So we've actually initiated a new program focusing particularly on disability. It's called Disability Technology and Innovation Program. And we do a number of things here. We fund technologies for disabled persons, but we also do a lot of advocacy work. We also do policy shifts. Just to give you an example, if you need to get a wheelchair from another country, a motorized wheelchair, the tax on it is astronomical. So how can we as an entity actually intervene with SARS to make sure that these are facilitated? But the more important part is how can disabled persons become productive individuals with dignity in society. And you know, Shakila is such a wonderful example of this. I mean, Shakila has not let her disability stop her from doing what she wanted to do, and she's a successful businesswoman. But what attracted us to Shakila's project is the fact that she's also employing disabled persons in an organization. So youth, I mean, you know, you may have heard that youth unemployment is very high in the country. In Africa, Africa has the highest youth population in the world, and a lot of these youth are unemployed. How do we use technology to actually put youth into gainful employment? And when I look at ShazaCin crew, I see a lot of that happening. So this is a typical example of what we want to achieve through initiatives like that. Amazing. But in terms of you know, we are an entity of the Department of Science, Technology, Innovation, which is the policy body, and that is where policies are enacted and then in Parliament as acts. So we have that capability to actually influence what happens in terms of ethics and